Welcome to Lancaster Community Television Station. My name's Ethan. I'm here with the legendary sports announcer, play-by-play announcer, Dave Burman. He's a man who grew up at Strathaven High School, went to York College, and has become a career sports analyst and everything else. How you doing, Dave?
Oh, man, great to have you, Ethan, down here in my home hood, I like to say here. Chester, gave you a tour. Chester today is where I was born. We're on the campus of Chester High School right now, where it used to be a hospital back in the day. I was born in 1958. It was Chester Hospital back then, and now we're the Chester High, home of the legendary boys basketball. Chester High Clippers, 8 state titles, PIAA public school record, 18 trips to the state finals, among a lot of NBA, a bunch of NBA college players, and other great sports.
That's a lot of history to remember, and a lot of highlight reels, and more importantly, a lot of connections you made over the years. Let's talk about your education. You went to Strathaven School District. Maybe tell me about that.
Yeah, actually grew up in Chester until I went to the Chester School District, born in 58, and then Chester schools. Went to Toby Farms Elementary, Franklin Elementary in 1969. Then we moved from Chester Township, it was called Toby Farms, over to right down the street pretty much, like a mile or two away, to Wallingford. And I actually graduated from Old Nether Providence High School in 1976. Nether Providence then became Strathaven when Old Swarthmore High School and Old Nether Providence High School merged the summer of 1983, so that's where you get Strathaven, another rich high school sports school. So, yeah, there it is. And I went to York College for 4 years, your neck of the woods. You're out there in Lancaster now. We served at WSBA after York. In 1980, I graduated York College and WSBA York for 4 years, AM 910, WSBA York, Lancaster, Harrisburg. It was a great experience.
That's a lot of history, a lot of wealth. I'm pretty sure you made your parents and your family proud when you graduated from both high school and college. I'm not sure if you was the first in your generation to graduate from a college, but I'm pretty sure that when you graduated college, you already had your career made out to be in radio, broadcasting, and of course, play-by-play announcer.
Yeah, my mom and dad both grew up in Chester, went to Chester High School, the old Chester High School right up the street here, like a block away on the left. And it was just growing up. My grandfather was a professional boxer back in the 19-teens and 1920s, Bobby Burman, my dad's dad. My dad did went to college. He became a pharmacist. He went to Temple Pharmacy back in the day, I know he graduated Chester High 55. My mom graduated Chester High in 1956. Again, Dad 55, and then Dad went on to have a great college career, played Division III basketball at Temple Pharmacy. I just grew up with sports, man. A lot of great announcers around here. It's in the family. It's in the blood.
It's probably in the DNA as well, because your family is very rich in history and also on the business side, and also you transitioned very good from being a college student to starting your career in radio down in Virginia.
Actually started WSBA York, 4 years there, 1 year WHP Harrisburg, Radio 58, 4 years in Carlisle during the Billy Owens era, won 4 straight state championships. A couple of years I announced those games. And then 1989 moved to Harrisonburg, Virginia. I was down there for 13 years in Harrisonburg, and then moved back to Pennsylvania, got a job up in Lewistown, PA, Mifflin County near State College. I was there from Lewistown, 2002 to 2015, moved home 5 years ago, working for the family medical supplies business, and also a lot of freelance announcing, Chester High, Harrisburg High, Coatesville, among others.
You definitely know how to cross the Mason-Dixon line and come back home at the same time while taking care of everything you need in your personal life, but also in your private life. When it comes to sports, you must have been meeting plenty of famous people, such as Steve Bird Powell, who was a Chester alumni.
Yeah, Rondae Jefferson, Steve Bird Powell. Steve graduated 1967. You met Jim Springfield earlier today. Before this interview, Jim played with the legendary Bird Powell back in the day. Bird was unbelievable, great player, many years in Lancaster, did a tremendous job building that Lancaster Tornado program to a powerhouse. So, yeah, just met so many, too many to mention, not only in Chester, Delaware County where we are, but just all over my broadcast career. And it was kind of funny being in Virginia. When they found out I was from Pennsylvania, they called me Yankee. It was kind of funny, but it was all in fun. 13 years down there, and then I left there, as I said, 2002. 89, 2002, then up to Lewistown near State College for 13 more years. But it's great to be back at home, man. Great to meet you at a Harrisburg football game last year, Ethan.
Yeah, I remember the day like it was yesterday. Basically, I heard your voice. I knew I had to speak to you because you were showing that professionalism, that passion, that drive. And best of all, you had your wife there supporting you the whole time. She's been there for plenty of football games, basketball games, and, she's pretty much your backbone all the way. And then you also have sometimes your family members showing up there as well.
Yeah, it's been great. Again, I'm the oldest of three boys. My brother Steve took over for my dad the pharmacy and built the Burman's Pharmacy, medical supplies, just a dynasty here in Delaware County. And then my brother Marty is 52. He has a health food store in the town right next door to Chester here, Brookhaven. So it's a lot of business. I'm the one who decided that I want to be the next Gene Hart, the next Bill Campbell, Merrill Reese, broadcaster. A lot of broadcast idols back in the day when we were winning in Philadelphia. The Sixers won it in 67, Flyers, a couple Stanley Cup, 74, 75, Phillies in 1980. I could just go on and on, Ethan, but your story's great too, and I really enjoyed finding out about that. Tremendous what you've done in your young career.
Yes. My story's very interesting, overcoming a fatal car accident, and look at me now, about to be a college graduate from Millsville University. I'm the first come from a single-parent household of 5. With my other siblings, a grand total of 8. And, the odds were against me, but God was with me. 99% chance of death, 1% chance of living. I definitely made the turnaround, definitely made the comeback. And I also become an inspiration when I didn't see myself become an inspiration in rehab and in the hospital.
Yeah, unbelievable story. I love it. I love the interviews you do. And it's great for you to come down here to Chester. 60 miles, that's all it really is, but you have to go through the back roads and maybe hit 95. But so many battles. You're originally from Coatesville and Chester and football, and especially basketball with Lancaster and Harrisburg and Chester. And it's many more battles to come down the road. So it's great to be part of that, my man.
Yeah, speaking of Coatesville, my former football and track coach is coaching in Coatesville Area School District. There is Damian Henry and, of course, Matt Ortega. And he played, and his son, Ricky Ortega, was the quarterback. He was an amazing man. Matt Ortega is a man who's loving to his family, but he also keeps the principles of staying humble and staying well grounded, and he always remembers where he comes from.
Yeah, originally from the Harrisburg area, a little time in Steelton, High Spire, Central Dauphin East, I do believe, Coach Ortega. I've done some public address announcing for Coatesville basketball over the last 5 years. Lots of fun. Met the great Silver Fox, Ross Kershey. You remember him back in the day, Coach, and Coach Skoogie Smith. You had Rip Hamilton there, great guy, John Allen, and the rest. Also going to be announcing some games on our the Coatesville YouTube channel, football coming up down the road, and the young Coatesville team this year. But you have to bone up because you try to take every assignment you do, not with a grain of salt. You bring it every time because you can't mess up any kids' names either. It's tough out there.
I believe it is with the pronunciations, lettering, and breaking down the syllables. I'm pretty sure you rehearsed their names and become acclimated to their numbers and getting used to seeing the field live. Also, another legendary coach. You met one of the 76ers players like Allen Iverson and many other basketball players in the Philadelphia area.
Yeah, I never got a picture with Iverson, but when I was down in Virginia, his team, Bethel High School, coached by Pennsylvania native Mike Bailey, who eventually went on to win a state championship with Williamsport, the Millionaires, in 1999. I think they had to get by Coatesville. and John Allen and those guys back then also. So Mike Bailey was the coach of Iverson. He won the state championship 93. I was in Harrisonburg, Virginia, but I was covering one of our local teams from Rockingham County down there in Richmond for that day. And then Iverson came up. It was called Spotswood High School. Then the AAA game was Iverson against a team from Richmond. He won it all. He was a junior that year. His teammate Tony Rutland. Iverson won it all. It was great after the game. I gave him a fist pump. Unfortunately, no picture, no interview, but it was still unbelievable. 1993, 27 years ago already.
Still comes back to the Philadelphia area. He also, went through his trials and tribulations being with the 76ers and then playing for the Pistons, the Nuggets. But he was welcomed back with open arms to the 76ers, and he's a man who enjoyed his Hall of Fame speech, give recognition to his children, his lovely wife who sacrificed a lot. Because when a woman gets pregnant and recovers from the labor, they put their lives on hold. And for that matter, a woman is definitely a man's backbone.
Like my wife, Brenda. Love you, Brenda. Thank you. She spots for me at the games also. So I need that. Got the binoculars going. So, yeah, behind every good man is a great woman.
Thank you, Dave. I'd like to thank you very much for your time, your inspiration, and coming here in downtown Chester High School, where a lot of basketball games are crowded, a lot of history's been made, a lot of NBA players, and more importantly, the cheerleaders know how to do their splits consistently.
Oh, yeah. The legendary Chester High cheerleaders. It's great. Hopefully you'll make it to a game someday down here. We call it named after the clip joint, but it's also known as, the real name now is the Fred Pickett Jr. Gymnasium. Fred was a longtime head coach here, won 3 state championships, and loved by everybody. So there it is, Chester High, the Clippers, and where I was born in 1958 right here at Old Chester Hospital.
Thank you.